welcome back to Copperhead Customs. Today we're doing something on our 38 Chev. If you want to see what it is, you better stick around. So this is our 38 Chev. What happened to our Chev?
What happened to your Chevy?
So this is the cab of our 38 Chev.
What happened to your Chevy?
And we are in the process of finishing off the cab and then reinstalling it back on the chassis.
But that's not what we're doing today.
No, that's right, that's not what we're doing today. This will all be in next week's video because there is so much work happening.
Well, what are we doing today then?
So what are we doing today? Well, I'm glad that you asked.
Today we are doing something on the Chevy.
But we're not working on the cab and we're not working on the chassis.
Well, what are we doing?
So what we're going to do is this. This is a steering wheel and column off of a 1949 Chevy that we have up in our laydown yard, and I went and chopped it off. And the plan is we're going to refurb the steering wheel. So yes, the plan is we're going to fix up this steering wheel that has some cracks and stuff in it. We've got our horn ring that we want to polish up. We also want to take off the gear shifter mechanism from the column that was on the original car, clean up this column and get it ready to install in our 38 Chev. So how we're going to do that, we have no idea as yet, but I'm sure it will be interesting and maybe, just maybe, you may learn something. So with that being said, let's stop talking and let's get to doing some work. Alrighty, so here we are now. This center horn cap emblem type thing is just screwed in from under, and you just unscrew that and that comes off. Underneath that was this little plate which has a spring in it which holds it in, and it latches in onto this, the base of the horn ring mechanism, and a spring there. So easy peasy. We'll take these off, we will clean these up, get all these to look like new on the wire brush that's on the grinder. Now, I've had this soaking in inox, WD-40, whatever one you use. I prefer inox. It is the best product out made in Australia. So we've been soaking it in inox. Let's get the spanner on and the shifter or whatever, and we'll try to undo this bolt and see if we can't get the wheel itself off. So with a few augers and a few doggers, we managed to loosen the bolt quite easily after it was soaking in the inox. We then did the nut back up so that it was flush with the top of that, gave it a little bit of a hit with a hammer, the steering wheel popped up, and as you can see, this is our victim to repair. Now what we'll do is, also while we've got all this apart, we'll clean all of these pieces up and make them all brand new and de-rust them, and we'll also look at cleaning up the steering column itself. So the first step, I think, is let's take this over to the wire brush on the bench grinder and see what we can do to this. Okay, so most of those parts came up an absolute treat, and check out our horn emblem. That was all rusted and it's turned out pretty good just with a quick wire brush. Now, if you can see, that's old original enamel brown paint. Now my plan on this, paint the steering wheel red to match the interior. We may have to paint that red too, but I may just leave that, I don't know, we'll see. We may leave that original with the brown. Now, we also have to take this off like I mentioned earlier, and we've got the steering column, so who knows. But this part here gets painted as well. Plan for the steering wheel is to be red. What we do with the column and this piece, I'm not sure as yet. So far it's going to plan. So let's now probably see if we can tear apart this column. Okie dokie, so we've got this up on the bench. Now this was a weird shaped screw, but luckily it was fairly loose. So we'll just undo that with a flathead. I don't actually know if that was a special tool or what. If you've ever seen one of those heads, see if you're focusing in, drop a comment. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. But anyway, we've got that one undone. nice and easy. I think we'll grab a spanner and quickly see if we can undo that U-bolt, and then that will get this contraption off. Okay, so that came off easy enough. About 8 Ooga-dooga power was required. So that one there's rubbish. This we will go stick in our old parts box because it may come in handy one day. So the plan is any of these cracks that we've got throughout it, we're going to use the grinder just to open them up a little bit more carefully so that we can get some fiberglass filler into all them. We'll then dress it all up and see what it looks like, whether we need to give it a coat of normal filler over the top. We will see what happens. Okay, we're back. So this is what we've done to the column itself. We've given it a paint of red. It is actually a matte red. I went and bought it today. Rust-Oleum matte red. Anyways, so we've done that. Now we did this little horn piece. Oh, and it's had a reaction. We did that in the hammer tone brown. Then we hit it with the red. It actually looked really nice, but it has reacted a bit, so we'll give that another coat. There's our steering wheel. That's its third layer now of filler. That should be the final one. And we'll sand that up. Then we'll undercoat that up with some high build primer. And then we'll paint it. And the job will be done. Making some progress, hey? Not that hard, as you've seen. So it's just, you can get as fussy as you want with this. You could fiberglass the whole thing. You could just use the fiberglass putty. In the end, we've just used filler. And you can work this as many times as you want to get it perfect. You could coat the whole thing. I'm not that particular, so if it's got a couple of imperfections, so be it, is where I'm at with it. It's going to look a lot better than it did, but we've fixed up all the cracking. We will then sit our little horn ring in with the red and see what we think. We may actually have to mask this up, is what I'm kind of leaning towards, and painting this red too. And hopefully it looks all okay with all the red, but we do have red leather seats. If you didn't know, if you're new here, we've made our red leather seat, and we've got red. I'm not showing you too much in here because they're waiting on stuff, but we do have red leather door cards as well. And yes, so we'll see. Now the rest of the dash in the car at this stage is just going to be the rusted metal. So the only thing is going to be this steering column, and the steering wheel is going to be bling. That's what I'm leaning at the moment. We potentially, I am on the fence about painting the dash itself, but when you start painting stuff, then you see what happens. I've painted the steering column. Now, we're thinking about painting the dash. We'll think about, that's what happens with paint. So you paint one part, then that's it. Everything else has to be done. Something a lot of people probably forget when they do build these cars. For argument's sake, this car here, our 28 Oakland, beautiful piece of machinery we have built. But for argument's sake, if I go through and was to paint this cab, it's only little, so it's not a lot of body work to be done to bring the cab up to a good stage of painting it with a gun, high gloss. Yes, then you do. There's not a lot. It's all easily done. But then guess what? Our wheels have some pitting on it, so now our wheels aren't good enough. Our chrome bumper on the back here is no good. That has to be re-chromed. All those bolts all have to go get re-chromed. So there's a lot of stuff people forget about when they go into saying they want everything painted and blinged out. Another perfect example is that Plymouth. We can paint that, yes, not a problem. But then all the chrome work, all the grills, all the badges, all the door handles, all has to go and get re-chromed because it will look stupid if the chrome isn't matching the paint. So that's what I'm getting at. Whereas paint, leads, there's a lot more that goes in. It's not just the 8 million hours you got to put into the paint work. The expense then goes crazy. Then your bolts, then you've done all that. Then the bolts are no good because your bolts are old. So now you got to go get brand new bolts and all chromed bolts. And then your suspension part's not up to scratch. So now you got to go get, you know, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? That's why we like this. Patina. Patina is your king. It's not really patina that we do. It is more original. We just try to sort of basically leave them in their state that we find them and preserve it, as opposed to bling paint. Well, this one we did paint, but we painted it as though it was old. We didn't paint it as in off the gun, beautiful. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Do with them what you will. Oakley dokley, we are back, and there it is, sitting on there. Not too bad. Like I said, it is not perfect. I'm not going for perfection, but it looks pretty good. Now that's undercoated, putty primered, whatever you want to call it, and it is just sitting there waiting for colour. So we'll probably shoot it in half hour or so. So it looks pretty good, yeah. Not perfect. It's up to you how fussy you want to be. I'm not being that fussy with it. I've just made it better, all one piece, no cracked. So that's what we've done. As you can see here, like there's a little imperfection there and a little one there. So, you know, how fussy do you want to be is what result you will get with it. But it's sitting there now waiting for us to put our paint on. Our column's done, our other bits are done. So success. This is only taking us a few hours. Okay, we are back, and there we go. There it is, done. It's very wet still, so I actually scratched it a touch there, but I'll touch that up tomorrow. Like I've said, it is not perfect, but it is pretty good, I think. We've got some little marks on it when we were assembling it, and it was still wet. So we were very careful, but we got a couple. So there's a few imperfections. But overall, it's pretty good. Now we've got to get our badge rotated, I think. Maybe not. This would be the bottom. And I'm not sure if which way that goes. Could go either way. But yeah, we ended up painting the badge centre red as well. And overall, in that car that it's going in, I think the red, as weird as it is, I think will really suit. Now it's a matte red, so it's got like a bit of a shimmer on it. It's nearly like a bit of a pearl, so it actually looks not bad, I think. Drop your comments on what you think of what our quick little refurbishment of our steering wheel and column, and then that will get chopped to length. Once we put it in, and we have to make brackets and all of that good stuff. So I would say we will be touching the paint up a bit here and there, but we basically just wanted to get the steering wheel looking a bit cleaner and nicer, and I think that does. So yeah, nice, simple, easy Friday afternoon job. You can hear it's raining, so now what do? When it's raining and pouring on Friday afternoon, you go hang out in the shed, and well, that's what we did today. So anyways, only a little video this week because we have been working on the 38, but we've been working on the floor. And we've done so much extra in the next video that's coming. It's nearly finished, but not quite. And we've done so much. We've finished the chassis, finished the suspension. We've got brake lines, fuel lines. We've mounted the tub. We've done the cab's gonna be all lined inside the floor, everything. So the next video is one to look out for because we get an absolute heap done, and the 38 is getting very, very close. Stay tuned for next week's video. But with all that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.